Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone that this presentation contains forward-looking statements. These are subject to risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially. For a full list of these risk factors, please refer to our most recent Form 10-K filed with the SEC, which is available on our website. Please welcome to the stage the Chief Executive Officer of Docusign, Allan Thygesen.
Good morning, and welcome to Momentum. We call this the agreement event because it is the preeminent gathering of contract professionals. And this is our biggest momentum ever, with customers joining us from across the United States and around the world. We're glad you're here. Now, here's something we've noticed working with hundreds of thousands of organizations across every industry. Most companies are solving agreement problems by function. So sales teams, by show of hands, how many of you would like faster contracts? Yes, exactly. Procurement, how many of you want better pricing? Yes. Legal wants better compliance support. HR wants smoother onboarding. Finance wants to know what's in those agreements before the renewal hits. And so every team goes looking for a solution. And they find one. A point tool here, or a workflow there, or maybe a shiny AI product that promises to read contracts faster. And it helps a little for that team, for that moment. But here's the problem. The agreement doesn't live in just one team. It starts in one place and touches many others before it's done. And every handoff, every time the agreement moves from one system to a different team, to another tool, to the next, that's where time disappears. That's where information and money gets lost. That's where the deal slows down and risk sneaks in, and the value you thought you were capturing walks out the door. The problem isn't just one step in the process. The problem is all the handoffs between the steps. And no point solution solves that by itself. Not a standalone AI tool, not a legal tech add-on, not a wrapper for an LLM, because they're built to solve one moment for one team and then hand off into the void. You need a platform. Now, we're not the only ones who think so. A recent Deloitte report shows that deploying some AI-assisted contract workflows produced only a 3% increase in ROI. But companies using an end-to-end agreement platform reported a nearly 30% increase. That's a huge difference for your company. And that is why our customers are choosing Docusign IAM, Intelligent Agreement Management. Docusign IAM is an end-to-end agreement management platform that creates proven advantages for the companies that use it. With IAM and the power of Docusign's AI engine, Iris, we gave businesses a system of record for all their agreements, so they could finally see and understand the insights buried in all their contracts. Now, the next evolution is about action. Not just knowing what's in your agreements, but doing something about it. So, for example, routing an agreement to the right teams for approval, or identifying a risky clause before it becomes a liability, triggering action to help a deal close faster, or help a renewal fix what you wish you had negotiated last time. That's the power of a unified platform and a system of action for your agreements. Now think about what that means for all of you in the room. If you're in sales, deals stop stalling in legal review because your legal team has full visibility along the way. If you're in procurement, you no longer leave money on the table just because you didn't have time to compare your contract terms against the MSA. And if you're in legal, you finally get to spend your time on the work that truly needs your expertise, not manually comparing red lines, tweaking playbooks, or researching why an agreement looks the way it does. The platform handles the process and provides the context, and you manage the decisions. So our AI engine, Iris, outperforms point solutions by unifying on one platform. This allows us to fully understand the context of your agreements, including past negotiations, acceptable terms, your risk posture. Our platform knows your business. That's not general AI. That's AI that's purpose-built for agreements and for the problems you need to solve for your company. And it's a platform with the ability to operate across languages, across geographies, across data centers, and at enterprise scale. So I'm proud to share that approximately 40,000 businesses have adopted Docusign's IAM platform, making it the fastest growing platform in our company's history. Now, companies like ServiceTitan, Experian, Bank of Queensland are using IAM for their agreement management needs. And the results are concrete. Using the platform leads to an 81% reduction in turnaround time and a 75% boost in agreement management productivity. Pretty good. Let's do that. Now, let me tell you where all this is going. Because the platform we built isn't just about the problems that you're solving today. It's about where agreements are headed. And here's what I believe. Contracting will become a service inside the enterprise. Not a patchwork of departmental handoffs, not a bottleneck, a service. One that flows to sellers, to procurement, to HR, to your clients, wherever and whenever it is needed. Automated where it can be, and human where it should be. And it's going even further than that. In the future, agents will negotiate with each other on your behalf. And when your agent is negotiating terms with your suppliers or your customer's agent, without a single email being sent, someone still has to set the rules. Someone still has to define the terms those agents are authorized to accept. And we created Iris to do that, to establish those guardrails and carry the context. I don't think that's a tech problem. That's an organizational challenge. And that's what Docusign was built for. Now, look, everything you're about to see today is built on this foundation to tackle the biggest agreement challenges you face. We'll share real-world examples and an eye on what's coming next. So you'll hear from IAM customers showing you what it looks like when IAM is at the center of how they run their business. You'll see new agentic capabilities getting agreements done without the bottlenecks that slow teams down, and you can do that now. And you'll hear from partners in our ecosystem, like Coupa and Salesforce. We're building around our platform so you can integrate with all of your existing and new applications and deliver state-of-the-art agreement capabilities wherever you work. And it's all running on the platform that 1.8 million customers already trust with executing and storing their agreements. So you probably came here thinking about your piece of the agreement process. Maybe it's signing. Maybe it's compliance or risk. Maybe it's running your vendor relationships better. Maybe it's trying to close deals faster. But by the time you leave, I think you're going to see something bigger. Because the companies that win in the next 5 years aren't just going to be the ones who signed or created a red line faster. That's table stakes. They're going to be the ones who view their agreements as a service. They run them intelligently, end to end, across every team as a competitive advantage. And Docusign is the platform that gets you there today. And it's built for wherever tomorrow takes you. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage the President and Chief Revenue Officer of Docusign, Paula Hansen.
Good morning, everyone. My favorite part of Momentum is hearing directly from all of you, our customers. And our intelligent agreement management platform is built to serve all of you, a spectrum of our customers, from small and medium businesses to the world's largest enterprises. It gives high-growth companies the agility and flexibility they need to move fast, while giving large, complex organizations control and resilience to operate at scale. And you're going to hear that range from our two customers on stage here today. First, you'll hear from a global enterprise managing complexity at scale. And then from a fast-growing, high-growth organization using IAM to fuel its mission. Both organizations powered by the same IAM platform. So let's get started on the enterprise side of that spectrum. Our first guest comes from Insperity, a global leader in HR technology and solutions. Their software delivers payroll and benefits to over 300,000 employees around the globe. So getting agreements right is not optional, it's essential. And Insperity is partnering with Docusign to modernize how they manage complex agreements across their business. And they're here to share their innovation journey with all of you, including the role that IAM plays in transforming static documents into a strategic advantage that will drive efficiency across their organization. So please join me in welcoming to stage Cindy Stevenson, Managing Director of Insperity. Hi, Cindy, good morning, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here. I have been a big fan of Insperity for a long time, and we have appreciated the partnership that we've had with you. We've had a long-standing relationship together. And I think the journey that you're on today is one that many of the people here in the room can relate to. You started with Docusign e-signature, and now you've moved on to the IAM platform. So tell us a little bit about that decision to move on to IAM.
Thank you, Paula. At Insperity, we're continuously assessing our tech stack to ensure that our tools deliver real results. We originally bought Docusign because it automated routing. Now we're looking for ways to make our agreements intelligent. Understanding the intent behind an agreement enables our teams to work so much smarter. One of our challenges was that critical agreement data, like renewal terms or client obligations, was buried inside documents. It wasn't accessible in a way that could inform our decisions or trigger workflows. We didn't have a way to leverage the data inside them. Additionally, HR, legal, sales were often operating from different versions of the truth. Locating the correct document or understanding the status required manual effort and coordination. At our scale, that wasn't sustainable. With Docusign IAM, we're able to establish a unified system for managing agreements, linking workflows, and data across all departments. It's not just a technology upgrade for us, it's a foundational shift in how we operate.
I love that, a foundational shift in how you operate. So to that point, one of your jobs is really to make sure that you're staying out in front of the technology curve and bringing the rest of the organization along on the way. And so tell the audience a little bit about how you brought your legal team along on the journey with IAM.
Yeah, conversations with our legal team, I was very much on the sales operations side at that time, started almost 10 years ago, and at that time, they were huge skeptics. Historically, redlining has always been one of the biggest burdens for legal. For our company, with our size, that model wasn't scalable. When assessing various technologies, we already saw Docusign as a secure, enterprise-grade platform. This gave us confidence to expand into strategic use cases and move from agreements to being a source of intelligence to support how we operated. With IAM, we're beginning to standardize and accelerating redlining and so much more. Our legal team can now focus on complex, higher value work, and it's incredibly rewarding to see that team that was first skeptics are now becoming our biggest champions and helping us get adoption throughout the company.
Well, it's a wonderful story. We really appreciate you sharing it with us today. Thank you for the partnership. You're on an exciting transformation journey. We're deeply committed and can't wait to see the impact that you'll drive. So thank you so much. How about a round of applause for Cindy? Thank you, Cindy. Big scale there. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about our next customer who is transforming the online retail space, Thrive Market. Their mission is to make healthy, sustainable food accessible to everyone, and they're doing it at scale and quite rapidly. But growing fast and also having a purpose, mission-minded organization can be difficult to do at the exact same time, and it means you have to transform how you operate behind the scenes. So to hear just how Thrive Market is doing that, please welcome onto stage Wade Johnson, Associate General Counsel at Thrive Market. Hi, Wade, welcome, good morning.
Thank you, good morning.
I think we probably have some Thrive Market members out here in the audience, and it's a mission that we can all really relate to and get behind. So let's start there. Tell us a little bit about the mission that you're on and how that is impacting the growth journey that you're on.
Yeah, for us, mission is everything. Everything in our company starts with our mission, and one of the most important parts of that is accessibility. And that doesn't just mean accessible via price. That really means being able to deliver hyper-curated, emerging brands across the country, meeting members where they're at. And we're able to do this now, showing that you can be both profitable and purpose-driven. We did nearly $1 billion in revenue last year, and for that, what that means to me is we got to get a lot of contracts done really quickly and with a really lean team to do it. And we've used IAM to do just that.
So let's talk about that, right? This rapid growth that you're on, balancing it with your mission-driven focus. As a general counsel leading a legal team, how do you think about what a platform or what technology can do to help you with that mission and with that growth and expansion?
Yeah, for us, the biggest bottleneck was the amount of volume that we got coming in, and that it was all tied up in emails and really just inaccessible for us to manage on a day-to-day basis. We've centralized all that with IAM, allowing us to grow at the rapid pace that we are, allowing us to also, excuse me. Let me put this in perspective for you. 18 months ago, we had no automated processes. All of the agreements we did were done manually. Now we have our highest volume agreements, NDAs, and influencer agreements, all done manually, a process that used to take multiple days to get through, simply just with the volume, now done within hours.
Yeah, amazing. And you have personally taken a big interest in this. I think you consider yourself a change agent and sort of advocating across Thrive Market to encourage people to think about different ways to do work. So as you're advocating for that, what's your roadmap? What's your vision? And how do you think IAM can play a role?
Yeah. The agentic part of AI is really the future, and that's what we're leaning into the most heavily at Thrive Market. For us, that means taking a process that we still have a lot of manual aspects to, moving things along, and having an agent that's able to do that for us, moving it through, and basically turning IAM into an associate of ours and allowing me to play the role of partner, just simply reviewing something when it's been done. We do that via pre-built workflows, but also via the playbooks that we've been able to do through IAM. This allows us to do what we do best, right? Which is strategic thinking, critical thinking, and applying our best judgment to the process and to the agreements.
Well, we're certainly happy to be considered a junior associate to you and to your organization, and count on us to continue innovating to enable Thrive Market to continue its growth and its great mission. So thanks for being here with us today, Wade, and sharing your story.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So reflecting a little bit on what we just heard from two amazing organizations, there's really three things that come to mind for me. First, for legal teams to really scale, agentic and AI capabilities are absolutely imperative. Secondly, while we're committed to delivering on those legal capabilities, the power of our platform doesn't stop there. We are simultaneously bringing value to sales, procurement, HR, and operations departments to bring all those teams along on the agreement management journey. And thirdly, regardless of the size of organization that you are or the industry that you're in, whether you're looking for agility or you're looking for scale or both, one platform can really serve the needs that you have and deliver value and benefit to all the departments across your organization. So with that, I thank you so much for sharing with our customers and hearing their transformation journeys. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage the Chief Product Officer of Docusign, Dmitry Krakovsky.
Thank you, Paula, and thank you, Cindy and Wade. Hearing how Insperity and Thrive Market are tackling these hidden data challenges and automating workflows is just incredible. So let me start by asking a question. Raise your hand if you used AI to summarize a long contract or vendor agreement in the past week. That's a fair number of hands, and it's pretty amazing. And all of you are really leaning into the future. When we launched IAM, we promised that unlocking the data trapped in your contracts would change how you do business. It's been incredible to watch you prove that. We've seen Perceptics slash NDA turnaround time from a week to under an hour with Agreement Desk. We watched Experian, a global data and technology company, significantly reduce contract cycle time from roughly 10 days to hours using CLM and IAM together. And we've watched Milky Moo, a beloved milkshake chain with more than 800 stores in Brazil, move 14,000 agreements into Agreement Manager, formerly known as Navigator. Now, they're using AI to track renewals, freeing their teams to focus on growth. AI has given you a clear view of the information buried inside of your contract. And knowing where you might find risk in an active contract or redundant subscription about to renew is just incredibly important. We've all seen how much AI has evolved over the last year. The first chapter was about knowing, learning how to ask questions and get instant summaries. It was a great start, and it showed us what was possible. But what actually happens? Sure, AI gives you a summary, it gives you a bulleted list of risks, and then what? It hands the heavy lifting right back to you. Your team still have to pivot to a different system, manually open an editor, draft the red lines, hunt down the approvals, and update the CRM. Answering a prompt is not the same as finishing a workflow. And that's the exact opportunity Allan mentioned earlier today, moving from insight to action. Today, we're taking the next giant leap in this journey together, evolving our platform to move beyond AI that talks to you to AI that executes more of this work for you. The Docusign IAM platform was built to power your entire agreement journey across 3 distinct phases: create, commit, and manage, and to solve the end-to-end of the agreement needs. At the heart of this all is Docusign Iris. Last year, we introduced Iris as our foundational AI engine, built on hundreds of millions of private, consented agreements to deeply understand your contracts, powering tools like Agreement Manager to give you visibility you've never had before. And for many of you who are already using and relying on CLM, the beauty of the shared foundation is that many of these adjacent capabilities we're sharing today will be available in your existing environments. So today, I'm thrilled to announce we're supercharging Iris with 3 new capabilities that unleash the power of agents. First, AI Assistant that acts as your active intelligence interface. Grounded in your full agreement context, it is built to finish the work. Ask Iris to analyze a messy renewal, and it automatically reduces the deal history and drafts the exact red lines you need. Second, Docusign agents. We're launching ready-to-deploy agents to tackle multi-step tasks out of the box. But for unique needs, there's Docusign Agent Studio. Using plain English, your teams can create custom agents that follow your exact playbooks. You can trigger them instantly through Iris, or even chain multiple agents together in Workflow Builder to completely automate your processes. And finally, our MCP server. Context switching is the enemy of action. You should not have to leave the system you already use to get work done. That's why we're building connections to seamlessly embed Iris into the tools you rely on every day, such as Anthropic Claude, Google Gemini Enterprise, and Slack. Together, this is the breakthrough. We're moving Iris from a tool that shows your data to a system that finishes work, closing the gap between knowing what needs to be done and actually getting it done. Woohoo! We live in this really, really dynamic world. When tariffs hit, regulations shift, or companies merge, cross-functional teams just need to move very quickly. In these critical moments, the first question that's asked of us, what is our exposure? In these moments, legal has 2 distinct mandates: accurately assess risk and do it fast. But manual review forces legal in a constant compromise between speed and accuracy. Today, this compromise ends. I'm thrilled to introduce a new AI-powered analysis tool in Agreement Manager. With just a few clicks, it can extract and compare relevant data across thousands of agreements instantly in one flexible view. No more manually digging through thousands of agreements in messy spreadsheets. But finding the risk is only the first step. To dive in and fix a specific messy contract, you transition to your AI assistant. And this is more than a chatbot. It actually helps to do the work for you, from identifying non-standard language to generating risk reports across your agreements, such as an MSA. But here's where it gets powerful. Right inside the assistant interface, you can invoke custom agents you built in the Agent Studio. You just add mention, for instance, a risk intelligence agent to instantly run your playbooks against the agreement, surface risky terms, and narrow the findings down to exactly what matters, like, for instance, IP rights, on the spot. So let's see how you can use this in real time. I'd like to welcome Gaurav Oberoi on the stage to show it. Gaurav.
Thank you, Dimitri. As you noted, M&A is the ultimate stress test for large-scale contract review. It requires legal teams to answer complex questions across thousands of agreements quickly and accurately. Let me show you how Docusign can help. Meet Sarah, Senior Corporate Counsel at Data Vault Dynamics. Her company is being acquired, and she has just 10 days to complete due diligence. Her first task, help the buyer understand customer termination risk. Will all of these customers come along with the deal, or can any of them cancel on change of control? Without IAM, she'd have to read over 3,000 customer contracts all by herself. Instead, Sarah starts by locating all customer contracts in their smart repository, Agreement Manager. They've already been analyzed by Iris, so she can find what she's looking for quickly. Now, she starts her analysis by creating a worksheet, a kind of a dynamic report that she specifies with just a simple prompt. Iris then looks for the relevant language across her agreements and even proposes columns that Sarah might need in her report. It even finds additional customer agreements Sarah had missed. And after Sarah's confirmation, Iris produces the report she asked for, identifying nearly 70 contracts containing these clauses. But you know, she needs more than a yes or no. She needs the exact language. So she adds a new column to pull in those trigger conditions simply by describing what she needs in a prompt. And just like that, Iris includes the exact clause. Now, what used to take days to uncover and a hefty legal fee if you worked with outside counsel is now completed in minutes. With these high-risk agreements identified, her next step is to quantify exposure. Now, right from here, she asks Iris for the expiration dates and total contract values. Iris delivers citable answers with no digging and no guesswork. Sarah then has Iris draft a memo for her general counsel, summarizing her findings. And in seconds, she has a professional memo that she can review and send up the chain of command. Nice job, Sarah. But the job isn't done. In addition to customer contracts, buyers also want to identify risk in employee agreements. So let's say hello to Blake, employment counsel for Data Vault Dynamics. He's been tasked with auditing the company's employee files. Now, with all employee contracts already organized in the People Hub, Blake has immediate visibility into every employee contract. No more digging through the HRIS system. Now, he can move from searching to solving. To show his company is a safe bet for the buyer, Blake asks Iris to pinpoint any missing arbitration clauses. And once more, Iris creates a report just from this simple prompt, allowing Blake to address a major diligence and indemnity problem before the buyer's counsel flags it. Now, once identified, he has Iris generate new drafts using the company's template for immediate signature, closing the loop in one intuitive workflow. And there you have it. You just saw Iris streamline the audit phase of M&A due diligence. But, you know, M&A is just one example. Whether you're navigating sudden regulatory changes or even pinpointing pricing deviations, Iris is there to help. In minutes, we saw Sarah identify risk across thousands of customer contracts, while Blake addressed workforce gaps and financial exposure to make sure they were closing ready. And the result? days of manual review become minutes, outside counsel spend drops significantly, and critical risks are identified up front. That is the power of Docusign IAM. Back to you, Dimitri.
Thank you, Gaurav. This thing's, again, pretty smart, huh? That is what it looks like when you give your legal and functional experts the leverage to operate at scale, speed, and precision. I mentioned Perceptyx earlier. Let me tell you a little more about the impact they saw. They replaced 6 different vendors with a single IAM platform, allowing them to fully automate the legal and sales workflows, ultimately cutting document generation time by 99%. For a relatively small company, IAM has been great for the bottom line, and it saves the legal team hours of manual work every week. But agreement execution is just the beginning of the story. Contracts live over time, and the heavy lifting of managing those evolving vendor relationships falls to procurement. Our chief procurement head is staring right at me and checking me right now. They track renewals, negotiate prices, price locks, ensure vendors actually deliver on their promises. Because contracts change through years of amendments, figuring out your exact obligations today often turns into almost like an archaeological dig. And we're making it effortless for you to monitor these vendor relationships. When a buyer needs to evaluate license amended 3 times over 5 years, they no longer need to dig through emails. They simply open the AI assistant, and it searches your repository, analyzes the complete document history, and instantly extracts the prevailing terms, telling the buyer exactly which version of the term is active today. No digging, no guesswork, but it doesn't stop there. Iris connects to outside systems like Okta to identify cost-saving opportunities. Like, for instance, finding you're only using 300 of the 500 contracted licenses, instantly surfacing a massive right-sizing opportunity. To stay completely proactive, procurement teams can use our AI agent library to deploy, for instance, a renewal alert agent that monitors upcoming auto-renewals. And this intelligence connects directly into the existing spend management platforms like Coupa. Buyers get the alerts and insights they need right where they already do the work. To show you how Iris untangles this complexity, I'd like to welcome Hiral Shah to the stage. Hiral.
Thank you so much, Dimitri. I'm sure we all agree that unused software is a waste. I've been there. But a missed renewal, it's a total nightmare. Let's watch Mary, a procurement manager at a global pharmaceutical company, capture lost value and get her afternoons back. Mary used to live in a fear of surprise renewals. But now, she has always-on agents working behind the scenes. It's Monday morning, and a Docusign agent flags that Marketplace Dynamics is renewing in 90 days. But this insight is just the start. Let's watch how Mary goes from insight to action. Mary goes to the Party Hub, where every vendor agreement is captured and synced with a procurement system, Coupa. The cost center, the spend, the history, hierarchies, they're all in one view, turning these hours of digging into seconds of insight. Mary used to hunt through endless amendments just to find the prevailing terms. Now, Iris does this digging for her. It turns a quick question into a complete pricing history. Instantly, she sees they're paying for 500 seats, but a buried 2024 clause gives her the right to decrease. And just like that, Mary's found that perfect leverage to cut costs. But Iris doesn't stop there. Using a native Okta integration, it goes and finds that only 300 of those 500 seats are in use. This is a 6-figure value leak that we found in seconds that Mary can plug right now. She asks Iris, to kick off the renewal and heads to Agreement Desk, which captures the intake and collaboration that follows. Iris jumps in, pre-filling the workflow, launching the status, owner, due date. It also drafts this email that Mary can send to the vendor asking for the updated agreement and order form. When the vendor replies, Agreement Desk captures that entire exchange right here so your entire team can stay in sync. Now Mary just needs to ensure this aligns with her company playbooks. So custom agent, built-in Agent Studio is going to find the deal breakers. It flags that there is a low liability cap, a short payment terms, but there's a big one, a clause allowing the vendor to use this data for AI training. And it even catches that the seat count is still at 500. Time to fix these gaps. Mary opens this draft, and to her delight, Iris has redlined all of the key terms that needs to be looked at and realigned with her company playbook. She accepts these suggestions and tags Larry in legal to take a look at that use of data clause. So as Larry logs in, he pulls up the summary and changes and quickly approves it. Once his final negotiations wrap, Mary's ready to secure signatures. Iris once again drafts the envelope, creates the email that Mary can send it to the vendor, summarizing all of these changes. And once signed, this data is ready for action. Iris has pushed this agreement back into Coupa and automatically created a purchase requisition, pre-populated with those 300 right-side seats. All of this without Mary lifting a finger. So you can see, since every line item is pulled straight from the source, her PO is accurate from day one. And one click takes her back to this agreement in Docusign. Iris has jumped in, has extracted all of that final pricing table and key terms so your future audits are all seamless. Mary didn't just process a renewal. She helped the company save a 6-figure value leak. But here's the real power. She can take each of these steps, hand it off to an agent that's going to work in the background, running the numbers, drafting these briefs, long before she even looks at it. Now imagine that same agent working for you. Suddenly, you're free to stop managing the grind and start driving real impact. That's the power of IAM. Back to you, Dimitri.
Thank you, Hiral. That's how you turn messy vendor history into 6-figure savings. And soon we're extending these exact capabilities beyond Coupa to SAP Ariba and other major procure-to-pay systems, embedding our capabilities directly where procurement teams already work. The Greater Philadelphia YMCA, using IAM across its 15 branches, has already centralized 8,000 annual agreements in Docusign. They fully automated their renewal tracking and approvals. They've eliminated manual searches, drastically improving their procurement efficiency and freeing their teams to focus on their community mission. We just saw how procurement uses Iris to optimize investment and unlock strategic savings. But growing a great business is also about accelerating revenue on the front lines. Last year, we launched IAM for Sales to help your revenue teams move faster. Early users like Kindsight saw the impact immediately, cutting a full week from the sales cycles. Today, we're deeply embedding these tools into the CRMs you already rely on, like Salesforce, so sellers never have to leave their system. First, we're enabling instant agreement generation that pulls customer data directly from Salesforce or Dynamics 365. Second, one-click dynamic approval workflows triggered right inside your CRM. And finally, we're bringing our AI assistant inside a Salesforce, allowing sellers to query accounts history and non-standard terms with natural language. We're tearing down administrative friction so your sellers can focus on accelerating revenue. This has been the experience at Payworks, a leading workforce management company, where they integrated IAM directly into Salesforce. The company slashed contract processing time from 45 minutes to just 7.5. Since automating their workflows, their 24-hour completion rate spiked from 55% to 87%. It's completely transformed how quickly their work sales team operates. Woohoo! Please join our sales breakout track to learn more about these capabilities later in the day. All right. We've shared how you can streamline internal operations like procurement and how you can empower your sales teams to close deals faster. But many of you are in business that serves consumers directly at massive scale, and we have these incredible new solutions for you as well. Customer experience teams face this impossible balancing act: drive conversion, maintain trust, compliance, and reduce fraud, and we want to scale it to hundreds of processes without driving up the cost. And I'm sure many of you here today know this pain. Balancing a frictionless experience against strict regulatory demands often forces a compromise. Instead of one-click convenience, customers hit clunky PDFs and disjointed identity checks. You end up sacrificing the user experience to check a compliance box. And worst of all, you end up treating your most loyal customers like strangers. We're removing that compromise with two new really powerful capabilities. First, AI-assisted web forms. Web forms are just a great way to collect customer data, but historically, they take a lot of work to build. And that changes today. So Iris will automatically transform your clunky static PDFs into guided, beautiful, mobile-friendly experiences in just minutes. You're making every interaction better, optimizing every pixel with zero engineering required. And the result? Higher conversion rates, fewer errors, and a dramatically faster process, all without the heavy lifting. Second, we're taking identity verification on a whole new level. Our federated identity model gives you the total flexibility to choose the identity provider that works for you and for your business through 76 providers globally that we integrate with, folks like ID.me, Onfido, and Clear. But today, I'm thrilled to announce that later this year, Docusign will officially accept mobile driver's licenses, including IDs in Apple Wallet. So think about that. No hunting for physical IDs, no scanning documents in bad lighting. You know, with a few taps, your customers securely pass verified credentials from their phone into the agreement. It's seamless and easy verification. I'm so pumped about that. So let's look at what this frictionless customer journey actually looks like. Welcome, Rebecca.
At some point in the past month, everyone in this room has entered the PDF marathon. Visit any bank, hospital, or government website, and you will still see it. Dozens of PDF forms for simple tasks such as an address change or a beneficiary update. And each of those forms requires multiple steps: print, fill, sign, scan, email. And just when you think you're done, there's always one more task. And unfortunately, this isn't an edge case. Nearly 70% of forms still rely on PDFs. Well, let's see how Docusign transforms the process. Meet Linda, a Fontara Bank customer who wants to add a trust as her beneficiary to her savings account. She logs into her app and selects Add Beneficiary. Linda quickly verifies her identity with her mobile driver's license, a secure, quick, and seamless experience right from her phone. She's taken into a branded workspace built around her specific request. It guides her through every necessary step. The beneficiary form is there, ready for her to complete. And it's pre-filled with the information the bank already knows. It adapts in real time, showing only the relevant fields. She makes a typo entering the beneficiary's information, but data verification catches it instantly, validating details against trusted sources before it's submitted. No rework, no delays. Her data is automatically populated into the final document, which she reviews and signs. Behind the scenes, an AI agent reviews the submission against the bank's policies and flags that a trust certificate is needed. And just like that, a new task appears in her workspace. Once uploaded, Linda's done. The process is secure, guided, and effortless. Now let's turn to the back office. Marcus leads digital transformation at Fontara Bank. Until now, complex forms took weeks to digitize and were a chore to maintain. Automating even a single one could run a few $100,000. So the PDF era lives on, supported by costly manual data entry and slow handoffs between teams. Well, with Docusign, all of that changes. Marcus uploads a PDF, and AI-assisted web form creation gets to work. In just minutes, it builds a guided form where fields are automatically mapped, laid out side by side, ready for review. Built-in logic adapts to each customer's responses, ensuring the right data is captured effortlessly. And this is just the beginning. Now, all of the PDFs on Fontara's website can be easily transformed into sleek, mobile-first web forms. Marcus then creates a workspace template, adding a form and defining each step that follows. One consistent process that scales, reduces errors, and helps the bank manage compliance. With the Workflow Builder, teams can design repeatable processes, including automatically routing form data into the bank's systems. And the Customer Hub gives every team, from frontline to compliance, one place to manage every customer relationship and risk, with all documents, agreements, and ID evidence in one auditable record. The PDF marathon ends here. Docusign is the modern agreement solution for every industry still running on PDFs, delivering a secure, on-brand experience that drives conversion and helps teams scale.
Thank you, Rebecca. We replaced this clunky PDFs with seamless, highly optimized process, scaling a premium, high-trust experience across every single agreement. We're seeing this at scale with the Bank of Queensland. By partnering with Docusign, they slash per loan cost by 83% and cut approvals from 20 days to 1 to 2 days, all while supporting the goal to reduce energy emissions by 90% by 2030. And that's just incredible. I've shared a lot about delivering premium experiences to your customers, but we all know that a truly great customer experience starts from within. It starts with your people. Your recruiting and HR teams are at the heart of your culture. Their passion is welcoming and nurturing top talent. But too often, they're weighed down by disconnected systems, complex compliance, and manual paperwork. We want to give them that time back so they can focus on what matters most, your employees. So today, to bring this all together, I'm incredibly excited to announce our final major release, IAM for HR. Woohoo! Automating the complex logistics of the entire employee lifecycle and built to put people first. So first, Agreement Manager for HR acts as your intelligent data layer. It instantly extracts critical details from offer letters and NDAs, things like employment type and clawback clauses, to create a clean employee record without any manual entry. Second, our new mobile I-9 verification turns compliance from a day-2 bottleneck into a native experience. New hires securely capture IDs on their smartphone to meet compliant needs and eliminate manual steps. Lastly, deep integration with many platforms like Workday and Greenhouse ensure data flows seamlessly and securely between Docusign and your hiring or HRIS systems, meaning zero duplicate entry for your teams and zero redundant forms for new hires. A better chance is already providing this model. By replacing fragmented manual record keeping with IAM, they automatically organize the employee agreements and consolidate duplicate profiles into a single, clean record. Now, instead of chasing paperwork, the HR team proactively manages their workforce. We're getting the busy work out the way so your teams can stop managing paperwork and start empowering people. And that's exactly what IAM for HR delivers. To hear more about what they're achieving at a better chance and learn about IAM for HR, please join our breakout session at 2:45. Super important. All right. We've shared how we can help teams across your business. But before we wrap up today, I want to be very clear about when you can actually get your hands on all the stuff we showed you today. So just to be clear, this is not just a vision. This is happening today. So let's take a look. Available today, some of these agentic capabilities we talked are already in early access. IAM for Sales is also ready to use. In the next couple of months, we're officially rolling out ready-to-deploy agents, and we have general availability of AI-assisted web forms. And coming in the second half and beyond, we'll be launching the full IAM for HR add-on and adding support for mobile driver's licenses and many, many other things. We're moving fast to deliver these tools directly into your hands, and this is just a small glimpse of what's coming. We have much, much more in store. So make sure to join our product roadmap session, my last plug, later today to see exactly where we're heading next. We started today by talking about transition from simply gaining insights to taking action. We have fundamentally upgraded our execution engine to help you make that leap smoothly. My hope is that the next time we're all together and I ask you how many of you have AI actively drafting your red lines, monitoring your vendors, and updating your systems, every single hand here in this room stays raised. But I want to leave you with this final thought. AI is a tool. The real momentum, and the pun is intended here, comes from you. You're the ones integrating companies, optimizing budgets, keeping customers happy, and hiring the best talent in the world. Our commitment is to give you the platform that supports that work across every department. Our ultimate goal is to automate the manual administrative work so you can focus your energy on the strategic, impactful decisions that drive your business forward. Thank you.
Please welcome back to the stage, Allan Thygesen.
Thank you, Dimitri. I want to pause for just a second because it's worth naming what you just saw. You saw an M&A audit close in minutes. You saw how to save a six-figure deal before renewal. You saw how to seamlessly open a bank account from a mobile device. And all of this happened because Docusign works inside the systems customers like you are already working in. And what makes that possible isn't just what Docusign builds, it's where Docusign shows up. Your teams live in Salesforce, in Coupa, in Workday, in SAP, in Slack, in HubSpot, and more. And we believe your agreement processes should live there too. In fact, here's a number worth sitting with. Docusign has over 1,000 integrations. Many years ago, we made a commitment to open innovation and a belief that agreements would work where your business works, not the other way around. So Docusign is now deeply embedded in the agentic ecosystem. The MCP standard that Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google Gemini have all rallied behind, meaning Docusign connects natively with the AI infrastructure you are already building on. When your company starts deploying AI agents to accelerate work, Docusign's already in that layer. You don't have to stitch us in. We're already there. Now, you're seeing this in how workflows are evolving. Docusign is now surfacing directly inside Slack. So the moments that used to break a workflow, like, I need to go find that agreement, they simply don't happen anymore. The work comes to you. It's the difference between a workflow that scales and one that creates friction. And when we say Docusign meets you where work happens, we mean it literally. Let's take payments. For companies running on Stripe, one of the world's leading financial infrastructure platforms, Docusign's already there. So sign and pay in one step, one experience. The moment that used to require two systems now requires one. Not only is Docusign showing up where you work, it's partnering with the companies you want to work with when you need specialized tooling or specific infrastructure. In legal, we're integrating with Harvey, Legora, and Thomson Reuters so your legal teams can access deep legal functionality. In financial services, we partner with Encino, MeridianLink, and others to integrate to core banking cores and lending systems. In identity verification and risk, we collaborate with Apple, with Clear, with ID.me, with LexisNexis, with Secure, and every leading international ID provider, as Dimitri mentioned. So that kind of breadth and depth is exactly what the world's most trusted systems and system integrators are betting on. Deloitte, Accenture, Ernst & Young, Spalding Ridge, Slalom. These are the firms your organizations trust with your most critical transformations. And they're not just deploying Docusign, they're building on Docusign, designing practices, certifying teams, and creating new IP to extend our platform. I think that only happens when a platform has earned the conviction of people who stake their reputation on getting it right. And if you have industry-specific tools or in-house tools that are not yet connected, you can easily connect them to Docusign for the intelligent repository, workflow automation, signing, identity, and more. So here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. Every part of your business ecosystem that touches an agreement, your human capital management system, your CRM system, your collaboration tools, your customer experience platforms, Docusign supports all of it. No one else in the agreement space can say that, not even close. So we know that your business demands and needs are shifting faster than ever. So that's not a challenge we're reacting to, as you just saw, it's one that we're building ahead of. Every product decision, every agentic capability, and every ecosystem integration you saw today is Docusign's answer to a world that is not slowing down. The future of agreements is smart, it's connected to the places you work, and it's here today. Thank you.
Please welcome back to the stage, Paula Hansen.
Partners are so critical and so valuable to what we're building with intelligent agreement management. And here's why. We recognize that your businesses leverage a diverse set of solutions across departments and processes. So it's our responsibility to understand your environment and ensure that our platform seamlessly integrates with your critical solutions. The fastest way to deliver value is by marrying our IAM platform together with your most critical enterprise applications. And that's where our partners come in, extending the value of IAM into the sales, procurement, legal, HR, and operations solutions that power your businesses. And after all, agreements are the foundation to all of those departments and all of those business processes. Let's start with one fantastic enterprise application, Coupa. Coupa is the global leader in AI-driven total spend management and supply chain software, and they're doing something really powerful with IAM. You saw it earlier in today's demo. They're packaging our capabilities into solutions that create and drive value for procurement teams. This means bringing the power of Docusign IAM directly into the Coupa ecosystem, creating a unified experience designed specifically for procurement. This solution streamlines the entire supplier contract lifecycle, reducing friction between procurement teams and their cross-functional departments, such as legal and compliance departments. Now procurement teams can work together inside Coupa while we automate document generation, negotiation, and signature workflows within our platform. So this is truly a better together offer. So let's really understand the impact of this unified solution and the impact it will drive for procurement teams, and hear directly from Coupa. Please join me in welcoming to stage Eric Washer, Senior Vice President of Product Strategy at Coupa. Welcome, Eric. So good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
Now, we've had a long-standing relationship between Docusign and Coupa, and now it's an exciting time for us. So let's start with your perspective on how we can together make lives better for procurement teams.
Yeah, great question. And first off, thank you for having us. Great to be here. Great to see all you all. Look, Coupa's mission is to make procurement's life easier. That's what we wake up and go to sleep focused on. And when we define procurement, we define it as across how procurement is managing categories of spend, how they're fostering and developing the relationships for the business that needs these suppliers, and then how they transact and assure compliance that those suppliers are meeting the needs of what was negotiated and agreed upon. Coupa's been doing that for over 20 years. We continue to plan to do that for the next 20 years, helping continue to transform those functions and how organizations manage their supplier relationships. And agreements are right at the center of that. Agreements really govern how these relationships blossom. And the partnership with you has been great for the last number of years. We've been partnering with Docusign, embedding the e-signature solution in, and now continuing to grow that with the broader document intelligence agreement management capabilities that you're developing.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, right? So what made you decide to bring IAM in from an integration standpoint, build on the platform, and ultimately, most importantly, what do you think that brings to our customers?
Yeah, well, our joint customers, importantly, guided us there, right?
Yeah.
We listen to our customers, and customers trust Docusign, they trust Coupa, and together we're enabling the next level of innovation for them. I think, to really get to the root of that question, though, it's understanding what procurement is evolving to do and continue to evolve to be, and how the enterprise is continuing to evolve. Procurement sits at a very interesting intersection in supporting the entirety of the business and getting what they need to keep the business humming, but also interacting very closely with legal, with accounts payable, with HR oftentimes, with sales. And agreements are bigger than the supplier agreements, as you just very well articulated in your keynote. Agreements oftentimes span HR and operations and revenue teams. And as organizations continue to evolve and mature their agreement strategies, they're moving from these silo approaches to enterprise approaches. And for procurement teams, they want to, of course, support the business, but get what they want to get done. And as we're innovating together, we're embedding these experiences into Coupa so that procurement teams can drive quickly but take advantage of the enterprise approach that Docusign brings.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I mean, you're clearly an expert in procurement, and to your point, it's an important function that interacts with so many others, and agreements end up being that conduit for that business process. So we're absolutely thrilled to be partnered with you. We're deeply committed to our joint customers and so excited for what's ahead. Thank you for being here, Eric. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So as you just heard, partnerships can enable us to deliver valuable enterprise use cases. Now, additionally, because we at Docusign are committed to showing up in all the places, all the surfaces where people work, partners also represent those places where IAM can surface our value, and we are deeply committed to building products that meet people where they work. Potentially, there is no other organization that knows more about where people do their work than Salesforce. And we've been partnering with Salesforce for over 20 years, and they remain one of our largest partners. But if we're being honest, the enterprise world today looks nothing like what it looked like 20 years ago. AI and agentic technologies are changing everything about the way people work and the way they want to work. So in response to that, we're taking our partnership with Salesforce to the next level. And this is where it gets interesting. The power of Docusign plus Salesforce. I can't wait to have this conversation, so please join me in welcoming to stage Joe Inzerillo, President of Enterprise AI Technology at Salesforce.
Good to see you.
Welcome, welcome. So, long-standing partnership, thrilled to have you here. And I'm sure that you and the Salesforce team spend a lot of time thinking about where people work and how they want to do work. And right now, the business landscape and the technology landscape are just moving at this blistering pace that we're all stepping into. And AI and agents are transforming everything about how work gets done. So I'd love to hear your perspective on what that means in terms of opportunity for you with your clients, with our joint clients, and what we should be excited about.
Wow, that's a great question, Paula. I think, we're now a couple of years into this transformation, this agentic transformation, and what we're really seeing is we're now shifting from features and kind of like little implementation details into results. People are expecting these agents to show up in the P&L. They want it in the flow of work. Adoption is a crucial component of this, and if it's someplace else, people aren't going to do it. But when we think about Agentforce with Docusign's IAM, that's exactly how we eliminate deal friction. And all this transformation is a bunch of new partnerships. I just look at ourselves, and we're signing contracts with a whole bunch of vendors that we never had on the radar, even just a couple of years ago. And I just think that the most crucial thing is for our employees, our customers, to meet them where they're at, like really stick the landing with the workflow.
Yeah, I think that's the most important point, right, is that we have to meet people where they work, and therefore we know that we have to deliver value to the places where people work. And one of those places is Slack. And we're really excited that we announced recently a partnership with Slack that brings agentic agreement workflows directly to where teams are working today. So love your perspective on that as well, and how that can help enterprise organizations move faster.
Well, Slack is near and dear to my heart. It's one of the things I get to manage at Salesforce, and Slack is where work gets done. And if you want to see what it looks like to have humans and agents working together, it's Slackbot.
Yeah.
And you can see that right now. Slack is that place, and Docusign IAM fits right into it. So, we couldn't be more excited about the IAM integration. It just is one of those things that brings that workflow to life, that agent handoff to humans, humans to agents. And the thing that I like about it so much is it really does align to the things that we just recently announced with our headless strategy, which is the composability of how people can put these solutions together to customize the workflow so the agents are working for their business, not the people working for the agents. And I think it's fantastic what you guys have done, and we're really excited to support it.
I love that. Agents to humans, humans to agents, agents working for humans. Fantastic. Well, ultimately, this partnership to me really represents our commitment to showing up wherever people do work and where the work actually happens, be it Salesforce Agentforce, or be it Slackbot, or be it Coupa, as we heard earlier, and many other enterprise solutions. So we're deeply committed to continuing this partnership, continuing our innovations. Thank you so much, Joe, for being here and for the great impact that we can together deliver to these customers.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. So I hope what that just demonstrated to you and showcased to you is that there are real tangible solutions available today. This is not marketecture. These integrations are available to all of you today. And it's all meant to serve your business outcomes, efficiency, managing risk, accelerating growth across your contract processes. And what I can say that is just the beginning. Even though it's all there today, there is still so much more coming because we are deeply committed to unlocking the power of the full ecosystem, bringing our value into all the applications that run your business. Thank you.
Once again, Allan Thygesen.
Thank you, Paula. So, we're living in a moment right now where contract technology is not only hot, it's one of the last frontiers of untapped value for companies all around the world. AI and agents are transforming how we work, and agreements are no longer just paperwork. They're strategic assets. When you manage them with the right AI-driven platform, companies get better financial results. So what does an effective AI investment for your company look like? Well, first, it's a platform, not a point solution, not another tool that only solves one problem. It's a platform that connects your entire agreement process involving multiple departments, from creation to negotiation to signing to management, and it scales with you. Second, the platform needs to support all lines of business. Sales needs it, procurement needs it, HR needs it, legal needs it. You shouldn't have to choose between departments. You need a solution that works for everyone in the entire enterprise. And third, and most importantly, you need a company you trust to build this enterprise platform for you. Because here's the reality, you're not just choosing software, you're choosing a partner. You're trusting someone with your company's most important documents, your customer contracts, your employee agreements, your most sensitive data. Docusign has 1.8 million customers and more than 1 billion users in over 180 countries that trust Docusign every single day. Since we launched Intelligent Agreement Management, approximately 40,000 customers have transformed how they manage agreements. Over 200 million agreements processed, turning static documents into living assets. Every one of the top 25 financial companies, the top 25 healthcare companies, the top 20 technology companies in the Fortune 500 all use Docusign. And for the past 3 years, we've been voted one of Newsweek's most trusted software and telecommunications companies. And we're being recognized for our innovation as well. So this year, Fast Company recognized Docusign as one of the most innovative companies in 2026 for reinventing the agreement platform. But here's what really matters. We're the company you're using to sign and store your agreements, the one you already trust with your most critical moments. That's the company you want to trust with the whole process. And the whole process means the entire agreement lifecycle. The most powerful AI investment you can make in your company runs through your agreements. And the platform to do that is here today. And the company you've trusted with your most important assets for 2 decades. He's ready to take you the rest of the way. So let's go build the future of agreements together. Thank you very much.